Here's some examples where you solve simple equations. So two basic ideas. The first basic idea is when you're solving an equation is you do the opposites because you're trying to undo everything, right? So for example, the opposite of add is subtract, the opposite of subtract is add. The opposite of multiply is divide, the opposite of divide is multiply, and then the opposite of square rooting is squaring. Okay, so this one requires a little bit more explanation. If you have, like, say, a 9, you take the square root of a 9, you get a 3. Because what times itself gives you 9? The answer is 3. Now, if you take a 3 and you square it, in other words, raise to the second power, that means 3 times 3, which gives you 9. So you can see that the squaring will undo the square root. There's a rule that says if you have, like, x squared and square rooted, the answer is x, because squaring and square rooting will cancel each other out. And you're left with the x. All right, so that's the first major idea. Now, the second major idea is you do the opposite on the other side. Sometimes people like to say both sides. You do the opposite thing on both sides. That's the standard practice in most algebra courses. So let's take a look at number 10 here. So we have u minus 9.7 equals 5.8. Now, before you even start, it's nice to at least have a rough idea. U has to be bigger than 9.7 in order to get a positive 5.8. So I'm guessing like a 14 or a 15 or something like that. But anyways, the opposite of minus is add. So the opposite of minus is add. So I'm going to add 9.7 to the other side. So there's a couple ways to do it. One is just physically add 9.7 to both sides. And then you can see the 9.7 adding, subtracting 9.7, those cancel, and you're left with a u on the left side. And then 5.8 plus 9, that's a pretty sloppy 9. Let's try to make that. I made it worse. Okay, hold on. Oh, hold on here. Let's try to fix that 9 here. Okay, there we go. So 5.8 plus 9.7. Usually just use a calculator. I'll just use the basic calculator that comes with my computer system here. So 5.8 plus 9.7 is 15.5. Okay, so there's the answer. U is 15.5. And so the idea to solving an equation is, what is the value of that variable u that makes this equation true? Well, if u equals 15.5, then you know 15.5 minus 9.7 equals 5.8. Okay, that's our first example. Let's do another example. Let's take a look at number 12. So number 12, it says 5.6 times q equals 4.31. Okay, so first let's think about this for a minute. I have to multiply by a pretty small number to get the answer to be smaller. Usually when you multiply, the answers are bigger, but in this case, the answer is smaller, so probably like a 0.7, 0.8, something. But to get the answer, you just divide, because that's the opposite of multiply. So divide by 5.6, divide by 5.6. And again, the 5.6 is canceled on the left. And then you have q on the left. And then 4.31 divided by 5.6. Let's go back to our calculator. 4.31 divide by 5.6. 0.76964. It doesn't divide evenly, so round off, maybe 4 digits. So I could say 0. My calculator keeps disappearing. 0.76964. 76964. Okay, if you want to round to say 4 digits, here's the cutoff. The number after the 6 is a 4. That means round down, because the rule is less than 5, you round down. So 0.7696. So that means that if you take 5.6 and you times by q 0.7696, you would get 4.31. Okay. Number 14, I'm not going to do it, but it's the opposite of divide. Oh, hold on here. My computer is getting weird on me here. Okay, so right here. So I've got m divided by 3.33 equals 8.72. The opposite of divide is multiply. So you'd multiply by 3.33. But I'd like to do a square root one here. Let's do number 18. Okay, so this has two steps. So I've got 2.9 times the square root of v, whatever that is equal to 4.6. Okay, so think of this like layers of an onion, where you peel away the outer layer first, and then you get to the inner layer, and so on and so forth. And so think of it like this: the outer layer is 2.9, so you got to get rid of that first before you can deal with the square root. So divide both sides by 2.9 first, and then the 2.9s will cancel, and you have square root of v is equal to whatever 4.6 divided by 2.9 is. So let's get out the calculator. 4.6 divided by 2.9 is 1.586206. Now, normally you would round that 1.5862, but I don't really need to because I'm not done yet. I'll just leave that number on my calculator. No need to clear that out. So now I've got the square root of v as 1.5862. So what's the opposite of square root? Is square. So you square both sides. You can put this in parentheses, put a little 2 for an exponent. The other side, same thing, put it in an exponent, and then the square root of v squared is v. The square root and square cancel, so I've got v equals, and then what's 1.5862 squared? Well, back to the calculator. So some calculators have a square button. Like this one, it says x squared right there. So I can just leave that number on my screen, just hit the x squared button, and I'll get the answer. If you don't have that on your calculator, then just multiply 1.5862 times 1.5862, because that's what squaring means. But I'll just make it easy. Just hit the square button. So 1.5862 times 1.5862 is about 2.5160523, etc. I'll round it off to 2.51, what was it again? 51605. Okay, let's round it off to 4 digits. So the number, that last number, it's 5 or more, so you round this up to 2.5161. So that's what v is equal to. At least it's approximately equal to that. And so that means if you plug in 2.5161 into the v, and you take the square root times by 2.9, you'll get about 4.6. All right, let's do one. Let's take a look at number. Let's take a look at number 24. This is the most complicated of all. If you can do this one, then you can do all of them. All right, so this one has several steps. First, you want to clear out that 2.576. So you do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. So divide, and then I got a square to get rid of the square root, and then I can solve for n after that. But let's just do this one step at a time. Oh, and before you do anything, actually, this 0.6 times 0.4. There's no variable in that part, so why not just times that right now? So 0.6 times 0.4 is 0.24. All right, so let's write this out. 2.576 times the square root of 0.24 divided by n equals 0.052. Okay, so step 1, divide. You got to clear out that 2.576. And so do the opposite. By the way, if there's no symbol between two things, it automatically means multiply. So it's 2.576 times. If you want to put a little time symbol in there, you can. And so divide and do it to both sides. So the 2.576 will cancel. Okay, on the left, I've got, let's clear this out, 0.052 divided by 2.576 is 0.020186. Let's round that to 0.202. All right, so 0.24 divided by n square root is equal to 0.0202. Okay, next, square. I got to get rid of that square root sign, so you square both sides. So square. I'm running out of room. Let's go up to here. All right, so 0.0202 squared. Now, I'll just use that square button again. I've got the whole number. I don't have to round it off. Just keep the whole thing on the screen. Just hit the square button. I get, now, this is scientific notation. It says 4.0748, etc., etc. E negative 4, that means move the decimal point backwards 4 places. And it does that just to save space. A lot of calculators do that. So that means the answer is, move the decimal point 4 digits back, so it's going to be 0004, and then 0748. I'll round it to 075. That should be good enough. Ooh. Hold on here. All right, so 00004. What was it? 75. Hold on here. 407, yeah, 5, round it off. Okay, so that's what I get when I squared the 0.0202. But this is still, let me erase that arrow. This is still equal to, so I'm not quite done yet because it's still equal to 0.24 divided by n, right there. All I did was get rid of the square root. Now, I'm dividing by n. Now, what's the opposite of divide? Well, it's multiply. So you multiply both sides by n, which now I know you can't actually multiply by n, but we'll go ahead and just do the best we can. So on the left side, the n's cancel. On the right side, I've got 0.000407 times n, whatever that is. But now I've got 0.24 times 0.000407 times n. Okay, now I'm almost done. So I've got multiply here. I could put a little times if you want, a little time symbol there. So the opposite of times is divide. So divide both sides by 0.000407. Divide the other side. And then finally, I'll have n all by itself. All right, so let me erase. I'm running out of space here. Let's erase all this down here. Okay, so let's get out our calculator one more time. I'll go ahead and just press clear here. So I've got 0.24 divided by 0.000407 is 588.957. I'll just round this to 588.96. Should be good enough. Oh, back to the pen here. 588.96. Okay, there's the answer. All right, so let's go back to the original question. So what this means is if I replace the n with 588.96 in this calculation, 0.6 times 0.4 divided by 588.96, take the square root, and then multiply by 2.576, I would get about 0.052. Not exactly because I rounded, but it'll be really close. And that's it.